Hey!
Hello, hello.
Hi! Oh, we are here. We are here. Make sure if you have not already.
Please visit webuildlegacy.com so you can download your copy of What's Black Love Got to Do with It. We are so excited. Thanking you guys for joining us again on another read and commentary.
Exactly. And I'm so glad that we decided to even have commentary on this front matter of the book because all these things are important. This particular part is really just giving background. I know that different people, because we have intelligent Black people and people like to know where you get this from and that from. I love the preface tells you how all of this came about. It tells you about the research and all of that. And I want you to know that. I want you to know that I'm not just grabbing at straws. And I want you to know that I didn't just, say, let me see what I'll grab at. No, years of research, really looking at this. So I already know, there are things that you might not agree with or things like that, but it's based in research, baby. And Black people don't research for themselves, then who are we mad at? So I want to make sure y'all understand this and where it came from. So
and also, just please listen again with an open mind.
But be open.
And also, make sure that you comment in the comment sections below.
Exactly.
In this YouTube video.
Let us know what you
and
think.
share and like the video. Share it with some friends. And
share it with some people that are like you. Share it with just, just understand we're trying to do some revolutionary work here. All right.
And we invite you to the inside track.
Exactly. All right.
Preface. What's Black love got to do with anything? This question was at the forefront of my mind when I began my research that was eventually titled Non-Conventional Gender Roles in Relationship Education Curricula for African Americans, a content analysis. It was the end of the first decade of the 21st century, and the United States government was pushing forth the Healthy Marriage Initiative, or HMI. There were millions of dollars set aside to support the development of marriage education programs. HMI was based on research that suggested that children's outcomes would improve in various areas if they grew up in stable households with married parents. With about 75% of African American children born to unmarried mothers, the programs were especially geared toward Black couples. As an effort to improve and increase marriage rates among Black families, I wanted to know specifically what was being taught to Black couples. So I sought out the most popular Black marriage curricula and found 3 that were similar in that each was developed between 2001 and 2010, contained videos and written guides for facilitators and students, was offered in religious institutions, was created for Black people, and was taught by Black people. Over some months, I analyzed each conclusion in detail. You can see the complete research with data and results at the link provided. Each of the curricula taught the standard principles of relationship education, such as communication, problem solving, and conflict management. However, there was one statement that stood out to me as I reviewed the material, and it was the only statement expressed in each of the 3 curricula in some form. The gist of the statement was this: there was a time in this country when women stayed at home and took care of the family while the men worked outside the home to support the family. Each time I heard it spoken, I audibly said, "That's not true for everyone. Whose history is that?" When I was growing up, I only knew 2 Black women who did not work outside the home. And my mother, grandmothers, and aunts were not those women. Throughout U.S. history, Black women working was the norm, whether they were married or not. It bothered me that Black people were expressing a sentiment to other Black people that was not directly related to Black people's history and experiences in the United States. It was as if blackface had been put over a white message. It also presented Black couples with an image of relationships that suggested that they were already broken if the two partners were not fulfilling certain roles. I struggled to find a systematic way to show the discrepancies I found in these relationship courses. While at a research conference, I met a professor who had written a book called The Spell It Power Matrix. His book offered a simple way to analyze organizational dynamics. I considered how households were related to organizations and realized that in many ways, they were the same. When the areas that were not related to romantic partnership were removed, the letters SPEI remained. When rearranged, the letters spelled PIES or pies. I took it as a sign that I was on the right path, since my husband and I had been using the PIES acronym in the relationship work we were doing. This ebook is intended to challenge common assumptions about romantic partnerships and encourage African Americans seeking to build strong relationships to critically think about the foundations of gender role expectations, consider how they fit into them, and find solutions so that they can cultivate their own satisfying relationships.
All right, guys, critical thinkers, critical thinkers. I wanted to take time out. As we open this particular commentary related to the preface of what's Black love got to do with it, just to say that you guys are in for an amazing ride, because this dissertation work and resource and everything that we have to offer is so fluid, because the things that Andrea was going through and what we were going through together actually helped model and mold what came forward. When I say fluid is that she didn't go into this dissertation work understanding A to Z. Things were coming out, and revelatory information was coming forward as far as the topic. Then as far as unlocking some of the channels, getting from point A to point B to point Z, all the way up into creating a framework and going to a conference and finding another.
It was divine. Some of these connections were divine. Even down, this man was the one that gave, there were days where I just did nothing but work and work and work. And I remember one time he had gone to church and called me. He says, I heard a word today. I was like, all right. I'm literally doing my research. I'm editing my dissertation. I'm doing this. This is back in 2012, if I'm not mistaken. And he's like, I heard a word. I was like, all right, what is it? He's like, titular. And I'm not even going to tell you.
I'm excited to tell her about the new word.
Because it's a word, And I was like, titular. It was literally, and I'm not even going to explain what it is because it comes up later, and it's a part of the results of this research and what we present to you and Find Your Tribe. But it literally was the bow. It was not even like a cherry on top. It was like, this is what you were looking for. And he's the one that brought it to me. So this is really special to me. When things were placed in my life, like the Spell It method, there happened to be a professor from California that was presenting some things. And I was like, well, what are you doing? What are you offering? I was presenting about relationship education with Black people. I'm really trying to get this message out for almost a decade in these research conferences in Florida and in Atlanta and different places, Black professors and this. And he's like, oh, and he tells me, and that's when it's like, the household is it's an organization. That's what I'm trying to say, and I'm looking at these power, that's an organization. It's in the pieces that fell together. So I want you to know there was time taken with this,
And that's the important thing about relationships and about powerful manifestations of beautiful works within relationship. Relationships are living, breathing organisms, have always been, and there should be points of discovery and critical thinking throughout the relationship. And I think that's one thing that we're here analyzing even right now when you're talking about majority culture and what's being presented about preconceived ideas on gender roles and what the man should be doing and what the woman should be doing. Where is the creativity for you being yourself and unlocking a lot of ideas?
And through this commentary, you should know we have not gone into much relationship advice and tips, but I'll say this: one of the things that we talk about when we do our relationship strategy sessions with people is we talk to them about the fact that the joining of this individual person and the joining with me is the creation of a new thing that has never been seen. It's like literally when we made our children, right? We came together, and if you've ever seen a picture of our sons are, you see us in them, but they're each individual. They're each like their own person and beautifully, wonderfully made, but they're not, there are times like, yeah, he got that from you. Yeah, he's like, yeah, he got that from you. Oh, he got that from me. Yeah, he did. We need to do something about that, but the creation of a new thing that has never been seen. Can you see your relationship that you're in now, or your potential new, or whatever maybe you're in a situation where you just want to get some additional information. You're thinking about relationships. You're like, oh, let me check out this Black love thing because I ain't been feeling relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It's the creation. A romantic partnership is the opportunity. We focus on power couple things because we learned we're both very, we're a bit of overachievers. We're high achievers. And so that's our focus. Maybe that's not your focus. Maybe that's not your focus to go and figure out how you can conquer your part of the world like it is for us.
And that's one thing that I enjoy about the coursework is we're not here to answer questions, but to lay out formats and things that
so that you, and then if there's something that we can do to help you, we have ways that we can connect, Patreon, relationship strategy sessions, all these things. So yeah.
I wanted to go ahead and just say, I know you've already downloaded your copy of What's Black Love Got to Do with It.
Yep.
At our website, webuildlegacy.com. I'm going to put it up there on the screen for you. This is the copy of the booklet, What's Black Love Got to Do with It.
Print it out. We printed ours out.
Yeah, and what I wanted to mention is the reason why you want to print these out is because throughout this particular work, see, Andrea's dissertation work was 200 plus pages, but she actually broke it down in this readable format and created links. This is what I love, even within this preface, there's a link there that links to her dissertation work.
Just in case you and I want to see this dissertation, go for it. It's there. It's there.
And so the research and the tears and the painstaking work was put forth was actually a blessing. And so here is the opportunity where we can actually engage you, share our thoughts. You can also, again, put your comments below so that we can continue this discussion as you develop your power couple relationship.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And let's go ahead and deal with this black face being put on the white message.
Yay.
Come on now.
I wanted to start there. Right? Because when I look at this and you talk about this, I've noticed that in majority culture, there are things about what it is, the messaging is always, let us fix this. We don't even deal with our children or each other. If you're in a relationship with an individual, whether it's recreational relationship, a business relationship, or a romantic relationship, and you're entering this partnership as I'm going to fix you. Who made me the fixer of trying to, you want to get into a relationship where there is a mutual respect type of situation. And so when you look at the HMI, this healthy marriage initiative, a lot of the initiatives, that sometimes I see in majority culture has been presented of what I feel that are reactionary and not really sustainable, because it's like, let me fix you so that you can become more like the model. And I'm gonna let Dr. Doolin talk about
we're
that.
presented with these models that are mediocre, and we can stop it right there. Many of us are trying to live up to mediocre models instead of being excellent on our level and really saying, we can do this thing in a different way. It's going to require that you do something different.
And in her research, she calls it deficit models.
Yes,
I love that. Deficit models, meaning, why are you comparing yourself to someone that is not living
doesn't have your experience, exposure, expertise, nothing, not in your environment, not anything. So you am I interrupting?
No, you're not.
You are setting your bar based on someone else's standard, and it's a mediocre standard. And I'm saying that because it's not even asking you to go within and get the best of what you can offer. It's not causing you to come up. It's saying, look, this is what we do, and you should try to be like us. So yeah. But then when you dig deeper, you'll find out when we start talking about, historical context for marriage and relationships, what that looks like. So we'll get back to that. Let's just get moving.
Exactly. And so you look at the purposes of a lot of these initiatives and ideas and thoughts that have come behind these particular ideas. And then you look and it's saying, okay, through the research, we've seen 75% of children who have been born in Black families are born into families that the parents are not married. And so you take these statistics and you develop these initiatives, and you're trying to fix a problem, and you're not really, which is really not a problem, but it turned into a situation because here you have African Americans, Africans placed here in a scenario that were disenfranchised, and there are situations that are happening, and it's always let me try to fix you so that you can be like this. And at the bottom of what the research is saying is that we have never gotten the opportunity to adjust ourselves to be put on a level playing field, and then our context of who we are as Africans and people who are living in America, not coming from the context of
Western culture and the expectations.
Exactly.
And ultimately, we can't keep waiting for people to give us opportunities to do. Give me an opportunity. No, this is an area where you get to choose. And the thing I wanted to say about the, talking about relationships and parents not being together, even in recent years, they've talked about how even though some of the couples aren't married, that the Black fathers are much more involved than those in majority cultures and other races. So you just cannot base what you're doing on what someone said. So let's get moving. Because I want to talk about this next section. But go ahead. No, finish. I'm just saying because
So man, I have so much to say.
Yes, you do. I want to make sure
I have so much to say, and this is our time.
Yes, it is our. That's right, babe. It's our time. That's right. Say it, babe. Say it. Say it.
We're bringing stuff out to create conversation with you, and with you guys, so that this content can allow you to think outside the box, and that's actually what we want to do, to create a platform so you guys can begin asking yourself questions, to think critically about how you frame a foundation for your healthy and partnership to be that power couple that you need to be.
Yep. So we will see you in the next. Stay with us, guys. Hang in there with us, all right?
See you on the next video.
Yes, absolutely. Stay with us.